Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome to episode number 12 of our Minnesota Wild GM mode. So, in last episode, we simmed the remainder of the season, and we stumbled a bit near the end, but we just barely made it into the playoffs. And we have to face the St. Louis Blues, who had a really good regular season, going 50-28-4. So, we played them last year in the playoffs, and we beat them in 5 games, but we had home ice in that series. This time, they have home ice, so we want to get off to the right foot in St. Louis, hopefully, with these playoffs. Here's the other playoff matchup. So in the West, you got the Anaheim Ducks and the Edmonton Oilers. You got the Arizona Coyotes and the Sharks. You got the St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild, like we were just saying, and the Dallas Stars and the Nashville Predators. On to the East now, you got Columbus and Toronto, Ottawa and Buffalo, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, and Washington and Carolina. So the East doesn't look too scary, except for Pittsburgh, because Crosby's probably in one of his last seasons, I think. Maybe not. You never know, because they play till they're older in this. So, I showed you guys already St. Louis's lines, but I did actually change up stuff with our own lines, because you know how I said that we had a bad penalty kill and stuff like that, and that our defense, our top two, was the minus ones, like Suter during the regular season was a minus 10, as you can see. And then Dumba was a minus, what was he? Minus 4. So I decided just to reunite Suter with Spurgeon, put Brodin and Dumba back together again, and see if that helps out things. As well as I changed up the penalty kill lines, because the penalty kill was like 78% during the regular season. So now we have, let's go with that actually, Kunin and Coyle, and then we have Eriksson, Ek, and Kaprizov, because Kaprizov, yeah, he's got 90 defensive awareness. Kunin's got 90. It's actually growing. Coyle's is pretty good, and he's got good stick checking and stuff like that. Good face-off man. And then Eriksson X got 92 defensive awareness and 86 stick checking. So these guys are all good penalty killers. And actually, Dumba and Suter are together. Maybe that's why their plus-minus was so bad. You know what? Let's change him with Brody and put Dumba with... Wait, why is Mike Riley there? Yeah, I don't know if Mike Riley should be there. How's Spurgeon defensively? Spurgeon's good defensively. I don't know why they have Mike Riley on the penalty kill. Let's go with that and see how that works for that. And hopefully we get a better penalty kill in the playoffs. That's what I want. And if you guys don't remember what St. Louis's lines look like again, it's similar to past years, except for our former player, our former captain, I should say more, Mikko Koivu, is on their team now. As well, they have Mike Fisher, who's shouldn't be actually there, because he's actually retired in real life. But yeah, so basically the bottom line is still really defensive, except for Fabry. And then you also got a really good top line in Tarasenko, Barbashev, and Schwartz. Last time we played the St. Louis Blues in the playoffs last year in round 1, Shen and Steen were the guys that were putting up most of the points, though, which was weird, because Tarasenko, I think, only had like 2 points in the playoffs. I could actually probably check through here, but I think he didn't have that much points against us. Yeah, he only had 2 points in 5 games against us, and he was a minus 3, so he might not be that scary, and depending on how his regular season was. How was his regular season this year? 47 goals, 89 points. He had a better season last year, apparently, with goals. So let's just go into this. We're playing game 1 and 2 in St. Louis in, what is the arena called now? I don't even remember what the arena is called now. I have it on one of my game-by-game summaries, but we're in round 1 anyways in St. Louis for the first 2 games. Hopefully we can step it up here and get some wins, at least in St. Louis, bringing it back home. So first period, and that's what I want to see here in the first period. Eriksson Ek makes it 1-0, and Coyle. So I don't know if this is all the shorthanded. Imagine all these goals are shorthanded goals, because those guys are all on the short-handed unit. So Coyle makes it 2-0, and then Brodin makes it 3-0. We have 3 goals on 9 shots, so I think Jake Allen probably is getting moved out of the lineup, but you never know. So second period, and wow, they get 3 right back. What the hell is this? Vermette, Shen, and Nash, so all two-way forwards. So yeah, like their depth is coming through more than their first line. They're out shooting us now 21-16. Hopefully we didn't just blow a 3-0 lead, and Tarasenko comes through now. Their first line is a 4-3 game. Oh my god, Sabaga makes it 5-3, but we answer right back. Spurgeon makes it 5-4. Power play. This is a pretty high scoring first game of the series. Power play again, come on guys. And we don't score, it's still, we're getting a lot of power plays, and finally Luke Kunin buries one, and we have a tie game here in the third power play, and it's going to OT in game number 1. Last year when we played them, I think we went to overtime like twice or 3 times. I think we won most of them. Hopefully we could have like Cap and Clutch is what I call him, Kaprizov, or somebody like Zach Parise that like to come through in overtimes, come through in this game. We're only being outshot by 3 shots. Let's just get the next one, and hopefully it's a goal. And wow, okay, I didn't mean it like that figuratively, and that was the next shot. Nino Niederreiter ends the game in overtime with like only 47 seconds into the overtime period, and we have won the game 1 6-5. So our offense definitely showed up in that game, but our defense didn't. So first period we got Eriksson Ek from Granlund and Niederreiter, Coyle from Kunin and Kaprizov, Brodin from Kaprizov and Dumba, Spurgeon from Parise and Suter, Kunin from Coyle and Spurgeon, and Niederreiter from Eriksson Ek and Granlund. So pretty good performance from the penalty killer kind of guys. I wonder if any of those goals were shorthanded. Maybe our shorthanded unit's now really deadly offensively. I don't think any of them were. No, none of them were. That's weird. So basically just a lot of the guys that were good shorthanded or are on our shorthanded unit seemed to come through with a bunch of goals in that game. So it's kind of weird. But we take game 1 in St. Louis 6-5, and now we're on to game number 2 as well in St. Louis. Hopefully we could just keep this up with the offense. Hopefully we play better defensively this game though. First period, and nice, we got the lead once again. So Mikael Granlund, I think that's his 3rd point of the playoffs already, and we're out shooting him 12-7. Hopefully Devin Dubnyk could have a good second period in comparison to the last game though, where he let in 3 unanswered. So second period, and there we go, 3-0 lead. Niederreiter and Eriksson Ek. So Eriksson Ek is actually having a good series so far. I think he's got like, maybe that's his first goal or second goal. No, I think that's his second goal, and he's already got like a couple assists as well. We're out shooting him 25-16 and have a 3-0 lead. Let's just lock it down here in the third and take a commanding 2-0 series lead back home. It would be nice to take both games in St. Louis. Okay, Mikko Koivu, our former captain, coming through with a goal for St. Louis, but then Greenway gets his... Is that one of his first NHL playoff goals? I think that might be his first NHL playoff goal. And we have a 4-1 lead. And we are going to go back home with a 2-0 series lead on the St. Louis Blues, who had a really good regular season. And we just squeaked into the playoffs, so somehow we're beating them. So Granlund from Niederreiter and Ek. I'll just call him Ek instead of Eriksson Ek. Niederreiter from Granlund, Eriksson Ek, we'll just say Eriksson Ek, I guess, from Spurgeon, and Greenway from Jaskin and Spurgeon. So, yeah, a lot of different guys are coming through so far for the first 2 games. So, Niederreiter gets first star. I think he also had 2 points last game. Dubnyk gets second star with a great performance in comparison to last game, and Eriksson Ek gets third star with 2 points as well. So, we're off to a good start here in the 2020 playoffs. Hopefully we can continue that on home ice in the XL Energy Center. Let's just continue to scout in Sweden like what we did in last episode, because I don't know, maybe there's a good Swedish defenseman that we could find that's like an exact franchise in the 7th round, or an exact elite or something that's in like the 5th round and it's like a medium elite or something. Let's just go back to see who's leading us in points so far in the playoffs. It'll say on the top, it's just a lot faster. Then going into the menu, so yeah, Niederreiter's got 4 points in 2 games. There's probably some others that have like 3 or so points as well. So our team is definitely playing good so far. Let's just keep it up here in game number 3 on home ice this time. Let's get it done, boys. First period, and they have the lead this time. Alexander Steen beats Devin Dubnyk, and they're out shooting us 11-8. Hopefully we could have a good second period here. Do what the Blues did to us in game number 1, maybe score 3 goals. Second period, and they have the lead now, 2-0. 20-19 the shots, so we had a lot more shots in that period. However, we are still down by 2 goals. So hopefully we could have a good third here and bounce back. We did have good third periods in last year's playoffs. We came back multiple times in the third period, and starting it off as Kaprizov, making it a 2-1 game. Can we come back from a 2-0 lead again? Or 2-0, whatever you want to call it. Oh, and Tarasenko is going to make it 3-1. Koivu gets another to make it 4-1. So we're going to lose game number 3 here on home ice by a score of 4-1. And it's pretty much a brand new series. St. Louis could tie it in the next game, or we could take a commanding 3-1 series lead. So this is almost exactly like what happened last year's playoffs. So the only goal in that game, Kaprizov from Stahl and Ennis. I think Kaprizov's got like 3 points now too. All Blues are the Stars, and we'll go back. So I'm not going to change anything unless we lose this game, because our offense has still managed to be coming through. The last game it didn't, but let's just hope it comes through for game number 4. Hopefully we could give our fans a win in the building at least. So game number 4, let's have a better game than last game. First period, and there you go. Mike Riley comes through with a playoff goal. I think he had only one last year as well. Second period, and we have a 2-0 lead. Nito Niederreiter, who's been having a good series, comes through. And this is our game to lock down their offense. Last game we only could score 1 goal. Now this time they're not going to score hardly anything on Devin Dubnyk. Dubnyk's made like 20-something saves already. We have a lot of shots as well, so Jake Allen's keeping them in it. And yep, we're going to take it 2-0. So a nice 29 save performance from Devin Dubnyk. And we have taken the game, our game 4. Jake Allen actually made 37 saves for them. So Riley from Kaprizov and Kunin, Niederreiter from Eriksson, Ek, and Granlund. So that Niederreiter, Eriksson, Ek, Granlund line seems to be good. I think I have Prize on the third line now, just because his age and he's dropping off a lot. And okay, so we have suffered an injury to Jared Spurgeon with injured ribs. Estimated return is April the 23rd, so I think he's out maybe into next round, even if we get to next round. So I'm going to just quickly edit the lines, and I'll see you guys in a sec. Okay guys, so I got the lines set back up. So now basically Kulak is playing exactly where Murphy was playing, Murphy's playing exactly where Dumba was playing, and Dumba is now playing exactly where Jared Spurgeon was playing. Also, I realized when I was checking the lines, so Niederreiter is up to an 87 now. I don't know if it's just statistical growth. It probably is, because he's been playing great in these playoffs. But an 87, that's our best player yet. So yeah, he's having a great playoffs. Hopefully it continues in this next game here in St. Louis. Can we knock off the best team in the West? I think they were one of the best teams in the West. In round number 1, that would be pretty amazing. In their home building as well. Can we do it? Can we beat them in 5 games for back-to-back seasons? And my controller batteries are low, so I'm going to have to charge that in a sec. So first period, scoreless. Second period, and the Blues strike first. Tarasenko making it 1-0. Let's just have a good third period here. After this game, I'm going to quickly have to do a little cut, because I'm going to have to go get my charger for my controller. Oh, wow, okay, I guess it's not, and maybe it's going to go to a game 6, as we're down 3-0 now. Steen and Shen and Schwartz, a little bit of a tongue twister there. Not a good performance from Dubnyk in comparison to his shutout he got last game. Yeah, we're not going to get a win here in St. Louis, but we hopefully could knock off them in our home building. So Jake Allen answers back from last shutout with a shutout. So anyways, guys, I'll be back in a sec. Just have to charge my controller. Okay, guys, we are back. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, now we're up into game 6. That was not a good game in comparison to last game. Dubnyk let in 4 goals. Jake Allen's been playing great in the last 2 games, so hopefully we could just end the series here on home ice and not worry about a game 7 in St. Louis. So not going to change anything unless we lose this game. So game 6 in the XL Energy Center. Let's just end this series tonight, boys. First period, and St. Louis has got the 1-0 lead. Jaden Schwartz, but we're outshooting him 10-4. So Dubnyk's just not playing good in the last little while. Maybe we put in Hutchinson for the next game. I don't know. second period, and okay, that's better. We're back within 1 at least. Kaprizov tied the game up, but Edmondson gives them a 2-1 lead. Once again, Dubnik's just playing like shit though. 2 goals on 8 shots. And we have only 1 goal on 18 shots. So Jake Allen has been performing really good for St. Louis. Let's just have a good third here and end the series, boys. We're outplaying them. We just need to win. 5-on-3 power play. You got to score with that. And we don't. Really? Oh, there you go. Eric Stahl. He has been nowhere in this series. Tied the game up, but then Tarasenko gives the Blues back the lead. Oh, wow. Parise coming through with a clutch goal late. And Dumba maybe won the game. Yeah, he wins the series. Wow, what a game. And we have won the series somehow in the third period. 34-15 there were shots, but we barely won that game. So Eric Stahl ties the game up in the third late, but then Tarasenko gives the St. Louis Blues the lead with only 5 minutes left. And then with 2 minutes left, pretty much Parise ties the game up, and then Matthew Dumba gives us the win. So big performance from Parise and Dumba. Parise actually comes through a lot in the last few minutes, it seems like. So Kaprizov from Kunin and Brodin, Stahl from Kunin and Suter, Parise from nobody actually. So Parise took it on himself to tie the game up for us. So that's why I didn't trade him at the deadline. Like, I'd prefer to trade him in the offseason if that happens. And then Dumba from Coyle and Kunin. So Kunin with 3 assists in game number 6 to close out the St. Louis Blues, and he gets first star. Dumba gets second star, and Schwartz the third. So we're off to round number 2 for back-to-back seasons. Hopefully we don't have to play the Sharks this year. Let's just take a look at the player stats from round number 1, and then we'll see who we're up against in like an updated playoff tree or something. So Luke Kunin, who led the way for our team last year in the playoffs, he had like, how much points was it? 15 points, I think it was in like 12 games. He's got 6 points in 6 games here in round number 1. So he might have a Conn Smythe winning season because Dubnik's just been playing like shit. So Kunin 6 points in 6 games, Niederreiter 5 points, Kaprizov 5, Eriksson Ek, and Granlund 5 points. Spurgeon 4, but he's injured currently. He had 4 and 4 actually before his injury, so he's performing good in the playoffs at least. Coyle 3, 5 players tied with 2 points, and then everybody else has 1 point except for Murphy and Verstegen and Kulak, obviously, since he was depth, but Murphy and Verstegen have not performed well in this playoffs. No points so far. Hopefully they have a good second round. Goaltending wise, Dubnyk 4-2-0 with 1 shutout and an .895 save percentage, 2.83 goals against average. So if we continue to win series, I don't think he's the guy that's going to win a Conn Smythe if we can win a cup this year. Just not a good first round for Devin Dubnyk. So yeah, that's the player stats. Let's see who we're up against in round number 2. We'll check their lines and then we'll see the playoff tree. So simulate day. I don't know when we're going to find out who we're up against in the next round. And Spurgeon's back, so I'm just going to enter the lines and I'll see you guys in a sec again. Okay guys, so everybody's back into their spots. Hopefully Spurgeon's back to full health for next round. He might actually not be, because what day was it that he was supposed to return? I don't remember what day he was supposed to return from his injury, but hopefully he's back to full health for next round. If not, hopefully he doesn't get re-injured a lot. I don't think he does, but still. And the current round of the playoffs is over. So who are we up against in round number 2? It's going to be, once it loads because it's still being slow, the Nashville Predators. Interesting. We've never played them in the playoffs yet. Should be an interesting matchup. Also, as you can see in the East, you got the Buffalo Sabres and the Toronto Maple Leafs, Philadelphia and Carolina, us in Nashville, and Anaheim and Arizona. Okay, it's pretty interesting. Let's take a look at the Nashville Predators lineup. Hopefully it's not overly scary. I'd assume they still have a good defensive core. Okay, so holy shit. Philip Forsberg, 89 overall. Johansson, 88. That's where they're going to get their points. 2, like a playmaker and a sniper. Yeah, that's a really good combo. And then Victor Arvidsson is also an 86, so that's really nice. Second line, Craig Smith, Vadim Shipachyov, 83. Okay. And Kevin Fiala, 84. Pretty solid second line. Third line, you got Bo Bennett, who was with St. Louis actually last year when we played them, I think. Nick Bonino, 83. And Joel Ward's back in Nashville as well to retire. It's cool. 79 overall. Then you got Scotty Hartnell, Blake Como, and Vladislav Kamenev. So it's a pretty deep team actually for the most part, except for these parts they're a little bit weak with all the 70s. But these guys are vets, so they might know what they're doing. So that's that. Defensively, they're still strong as shit. Yossi and Subban, 89 and 88. Yeah, their power play is probably pretty scary. Also, then on the second defensive pairing, you got Ekholm, 82, Ellis, 85. And then Christian Folin and McNabb, a bit of a weak top six of defensive pairing. Goalies, Rene is dropping off a lot. He's a fringe starter now. He's 83 overall, so we might not have to worry about their goaltending at all. Like, Rene normally would be good, but since he's getting old, he's dropping off a lot. And then Darcy Kemper is the backup. Any scratch players? Yes, Pontus Aberg, okay, and Kalle Järnkrok. Okay, anyways, guys, I guess that is going to do it for this episode of our Minnesota Wild GM mode. So next episode, we will take on the Nashville Predators in round number 2 and hopefully get to the conference finals this year and not be eliminated in round number 2 like we did last year. So thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time.